What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So it's that time of the week, it's weekly rotation time, and I've got several that are new to the collection. Like, the majority of this rotation is newer fragrances to the collection that I recently got. So a lot of new experiences here, but a great week for the cold weather that we've had. Some heavier stuff, some spices, some incense, just some great stuff for, like I said, for that cooler weather. Really captivating stuff. And it's week number 214 in the weekly rotation. I want to talk to you guys about them, so stay tuned. So starting off on Sunday was right before the cold weather really started to hit, but it was still pretty cool for the most part. So I started my week with Valentino, born in Roma. This is Coral Fantasy. So this is basically kind of like a spicy apple with a little bit of tobacco in it, a little bit of ambroxan smell. This is one of my favorite Valentino fragrances. I'm a huge fan of this one. This smells fan-damn-tastic. We're spraying it in the air. Man, wife's a big fan of this one too. If you've never smelled it, oh man, are you missing out. Now, I haven't tried Green Stravaganza, the newest release in this line. Born in Roma Intense is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, I have that as well, but this one is just something special about it. This is easily my favorite of the Born in Romas for sure, and might even be my favorite Valentino overall of the ones I have, but man, this is a great grab and go everyday wear that's not super generic, but still very much a crowd pleaser that'll pull some attention. Some pretty good performance. Hard to complain, really. So during the day, it's Valentino's Born in Roma, Coral Fantasy, and then when I got out the shower, it was time for a good shave. I've really been gravitating to this lately. It is my Sauvage Aftershave Splash. It's just easy to work with. Another one, the wife's a big fan of the DNA. She likes every time I wear anything that smells like Sauvage, especially actual Sauvage. The only thing I don't like is that it does not have a restrictor, so I always end up pouring way more than I need. So I end up having to put it all over the place, and I go a Nosbic. Like that, my nose wears out because it's just, I overwhelm myself with it. But man, this is some good stuff. When this bottle does eventually run out, I'm going to get another one. I definitely will. I use this more than any of the sprays that I have, the EDT, EDP, Parfum, Elixir. I use this much more often. I've really been having it in the rotation lately. So, and it makes the skin feel really good. Obviously, if you're going to keep gravitating to an aftershave, it's more than just it smells good. It's got to make the skin feel good, right? So out the shower, had a good shave, and went with Dior Sauvage Aftershave. Moving into Monday was another round of the recently released, ever so popular Zaharoff Signature Halfeti Black Rose. This has been getting a lot of love, as it rightly deserves, not just because of the beautiful presentation, but this is a great spicy, woody, masculine rose fragrance. Man, this is some really, really good stuff. We're going to spray this one in the air too. What the hell? The only downside to this one that I've found is that my nose wears out not super fast to it, like not as fast as like Sauvage, the Aftershave Splash we just talked about. That's quick. About an hour, roughly, my nose starts to wear out to it. So better than most that I get, you know, some olfactive fatigue with, but the beauty of it is it radiates so well off of my skin that, you know, a few hours into it, my nose will come back to life and it smells like I just sprayed it, because the sillage on this is actually pretty strong. I did do a full review on this one for anybody that wants to hear more thoughts beyond what you're going to get here in the weekly rotation, but I'm a huge fan of this one. This is a great fragrance. You can get samples online from the website down in the link below. The link will provide an additional 10% off. The code was, for those of you watching, the code was only for the pre-sale from Aurum to this, so the code no longer works anymore, so I won't be putting it there. It's just back to what it used to be, where the link automatically provides the 10%, but man, this is a must-try if you like rose fragrances. Are very spicy fragrances, because the black pepper is big time the star of the show. At least for me it is. Smoky, dry and woodsy, resinous, warm. Oh man, this is just such a good one. During the day, Zaharoff Signature Black Rose. Let me get that to focus so you can see that plate one more time before we move on, because it is that jam. There it is. Look at that. So out the shower, this was actually 2 nights in a row. Way more performance than I typically would like as just something fresh out the shower, but I've been really gravitating towards it. I just did a full review on it. This is part of the North Stag Expressions collection from Paris Corner. This is the first one of the 4. This is a clone of Bulgari's Tigar. I love the way this smells. That spicy grapefruit smell. Some woods and ambroxan. It's very, very simplistic. It's a straightforward fragrance. No frills. Nothing that's going to change or have a challenge. It just smells really, really good and lasts a long time. I go nose blind to this one as well. The ambroxan, I go nose blind to this one quicker than most because of the ambroxan. But again, it's strong enough to where after a little while when my nose comes back, I still smell it really easy. This is some good stuff. Wife's a fan of this one too. Not as much as some of the others in the collection, which we'll talk about later in this video. But still some good stuff. Out the Shower, North Stag from Paris Corner. Moving into Tuesday, this was a great release from Armaf. I gotta say, I quite enjoy it. This is Armaf's Club de Nuit Oud, their newest release in the Club de Nuit line. So this is supposedly similar to Xerjoff's Herba Pura. So there's a Cambodian oud note listed here, and I do get a little bit of a sweet wood smell, but that's pretty much the extent of it. A little dry, sweet, woody nuance with some fresh, fruity nuances in the top, a little bit of citrus. I'm a fan. I'm such a fan of this one. Now, admittedly, I don't like it as much as Montal's Herbal Aquatica that I got recently that's also kind of like a very minty take on Herba Pura. That's a better, I think that's a little bit better than this. The quality's a little better, performance is a little bit better, but this is still no slouch. This stuff lasts. It is strong. I just did a video on this one as well. It's good, guys. It's going for around $60 because it is a pretty new release, so typically they go a little higher than they'll settle into later, but if you want it earlier, you're going to pay $50-$60 range. Really in that $60 range for this one, and I think it's worth it if you know you like Herba Pura. If you don't like Herba Pura, you'll probably want to avoid this one because my understanding is that's what it smells closest to. Again, I haven't tried Herba Pura yet. I will be soon. The plan is very soon, but I do like this fragrance as a standalone, I have to say. During the day, it's Armaf's newest release in the Club de Nuit line, Club de Nuit Oud. And then once again, when I got out the shower, 2 nights in a row, I went with North Stag from Paris Corner, and I don't want to add anything beyond what I added in the last section, so we'll just move on. Moving into Wednesday, this is a brand new release. I am such a fan of this one. This is absolutely going to hold the title of one of the best designer releases of the year, even though it's my first designer new release of the year. I really enjoy Boss the Scent Elixir. They did a great job. I gotta say, Boss Bottled Elixir was a really good release for them. And then now Boss the Scent Elixir is another really good elixir release for them. Very much kind of like Boss the Scent meets Spice Bomb because of this pimento spice in the opening. Now, they don't list the Maninka fruit, but you clearly smell it. There's no mistaking this is a Boss the Scent fragrance. It has that fruity tone to it, almost a little boozy-like. With a nice warm woody feel that's not overly creamy because it is sandalwood. But man, this is good. It's not too sweet, but there's a little bit of sweetness. It's mainly warm, spicy, woodsy, and a touch creamy. It's loud at first. Then it calms down into a pretty consistent, kind of moderate-ish sillage where I do get decent little whiffs of it, reminding me it's there. But nothing super strong, nothing faint where I got to really look for it. Must try when he gets here in the States. I did buy it from the UK. Took a little bit to get here, but I did get it. And I'm happy to have it 50 ml. Obviously plenty. That's why I opted for the 50 ml. But during the day, the newly released Boss the Scent Elixir. And then when I got the shower, I recently got these F1 fragrances. Let me pull it off of its little stand. This is Carbon Rain, Formula 1. So Carbon Rain smells like a spice-removed Rasasi Hawass to me, kind of in the Invictus family, and I like it. This will be a go-to because I don't always wear Hawass that much, even though I love it because it's really, really strong on my skin, and I don't always want something just super powerful, beast monster kind of stuff. So this is a dialed-back version of it very much. So when I want to lounge around and enjoy the scent profile, I have this. This is going to be the one from the line that I wear the most. I'm here for it. So it's basically kind of like a weaker EDT, less spicy version of Hawass Invictus, if you will. Still about 4 to 5 hours. Nothing crazy weak, nothing crazy strong, slightly below average kind of thing on my skin. And I like it. It's actually perfect for me for out the shower. So that's what I went with. Formula 1 Carbon Rain. Moving into Thursday, what a good day this was for fragrance. So I wore something heavy and smoky during the day fresh citric and minty green in the evenings. Quality stuff across the board. During the day was Chopard's Black Incense Malaki. Man, this is even better than my initial impression. I was like, okay, it's good, not great, not as good as Cedar Malaki. Oh, this stands on its own. You give it a full wearing, which this was my first full wearing experience. Leathery, spicy, woodsy, black incense, dark, like almost taric-like smokiness. This is really good. Super wearable, smoky leather fragrance is basically how you can look at it. Smoky, woody leather is the dominance here. The little bit of oud that's here isn't funky, but it adds kind of this dark, not really animalic, but slight funk type of woodiness to it. Oh man, I have to continue to explore this particular line from Chopard because so far I'm 2 for 2 because this is really good stuff. Longevity is really good. Kind of can be overwhelming, can be a bit much early on, but it does calm down after about an hour and a half roughly to where it's much more wearable. But in the opening, it's pretty dense, like raw, animalic, and smoky for a bit. And I don't mean crazy challenging, but it's like a hefty dose of that leather accord and I guess the oud note that they used here, but a lot of incense. I mean, it's heavy, heavy incense. Pungent stuff. Beautiful fragrance when you give it a minute to settle in, though, I gotta say. Very much a joy for my first wearing of Chopard's Black Incense Malaki. So after wearing something so dark and resinous and smoky all day, I had just opened up Xerjoff Renaissance, so I went with that. Man, what a treat. This is such a magnificent citrus fragrance. This is one of the best citrus fragrances I've ever smelled. The mint note really shines here. Mint, lemon, fresh greens. There's a lot of other things going on, but that's what jumps out immediately and hangs out for quite a while. Petitgrain, minty green, citrus, watery, mouth-watering type of citrus too. This is such an awesome fragrance. I've always heard about how good it was. I'm glad to have finally gotten myself a bottle. I'm glad I got a 100 milliliter bottle. Once spring rolls around, I'll be spending much more time with this one. I just couldn't wait to start wearing it, so I had did the video, even stated in the video, when I get the shower in a little bit, I'm spraying this on, and that's what the hell happened. I ended up doing like 5 sprays, which I didn't need that many. But what a magnificent scent bubble it was. Out the shower, Xerjoff Renaissance. Moving into Friday was just my scent of the day. I didn't wear anything out the shower. I gave myself a break, but I was blindsided. I was flabbergasted. I was amazed and humbled and all the different things. Shout outs to Jared Miller. Some of you know exactly who that is that are watching this video. So it's no secret I love YSL Babycat. I absolutely fell in love with it. So Paris Corner put out Emir's Rifakat last year. I raved about it throughout the year. It's really, really good. Then Jared sent me 5 ml decanted out of his bottle of Babycat. And I was like, oh, I have to get it. For those of you that watched my live stream like a week and a half ago, this, at the recording of this, week and a half ago roughly, this is on my wish list for 2024. I was going to get a 75 ml bottle at some point, and Jared told me, I didn't really make it public, I was telling people, because when a lot of viewers found out I wanted it, they kept letting me know, hey man, you can get it here, you can get it there, messaging me on the side, and it was like, guys, I already got the hookup, told me whenever I'm ready to let him know. I didn't know he meant whenever I'm ready to let him know and he was going to send me his backup bottle, but that's what the hell Jared did. I thought he meant he was going to sell me his backup bottle. And I was floored. I thought he was sending me some decants or something when he sent me a package. I opened it. It was a sealed 75 ml YSL Babycat. My God, what a generous, generous gesture. Can't thank Jared. I can't thank you enough. I reached out to him immediately. Said, man, you did not. That's overkill. You did not have to do that. And he's like, man, it was just going to collect dust. Instead of you jumping through hoops trying to find one, I figured it'd get some good use from you, and I wanted to send it to your way. Here we go. So this is one of the sexiest fragrances I've ever smelled. After one full wearing, I'm not ready to dethrone, because the one that's on the chopping block that could move from my top 5 overall in my collection is Cedrat Boisé, because Signature Rosé, Vertus Vanilla Oud, Dior Homme Parfum, and Roger Parfums Isola Blue, they're not going anywhere. But I'm just, heads up, even after one wearing, I'm thinking this is going to end up knocking Mancera down, and this is going to go into my top 5. This is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled, easily. I'm so happy to have this 75 ml. Granted, I'll probably never go through the 75 ml, but My understanding is it's discontinued, was never easy to find in the U.S. in the first place. I'm very lucky to have this. If you can experience this fragrance, experience it. If not, Paris Corner's Emir Rifaqat is very close. Marginal difference in quality, but noticeable difference in quality, but the scent profile overall, they pretty much nailed. So if you can't get your hands on the real deal, I would encourage you to check out Paris Corner's version because they did a great job. I was cool with that. But this elevates things. This is next level. The quality is a difference maker. The sillage is magnificent and rich. Spices, for those of you not familiar with it, spices. It's smoky. It's a pink pepper, black pepper combo. Nice cedar wood note with some vanilla that's not overdone. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. On Friday, Yves Saint Laurent's Babycat. Finally on Saturday, today, in fact. I wore this during the day. I'm going to be shaving in a little bit, so I don't know what aftershave I'm going to use, but I know what fragrance I want to spray, so I got to try to blend my aftershave to match it. But during the day, what I'm still currently wearing is Paris Corner's North Stag Expressions Collection. This is Deux, number 2. This is Parfums de Marly Layton. Wife's a big fan of this one. That's why I mentioned earlier, we'll talk more about that later. This is the latter, if you will, but this is later in the video that I was referencing. This is pretty accurate. I gotta say, up there with Royal Equestrian. I know people are gonna say Amber Oud, Exclusive Blue Edition, Detour Noir. They're all good. You can't go wrong with any of them, really. I just really like this one. Alexandria's Royal Equestrian was always one of my favorites. But this is some good stuff. Very powerful, too. Took a long time for that projection to calm down. I would say like in the 3-hour range. It was stout. Smells so good. You get that fruity apple, that Vicks VapoRub mentholic vibe from the geranium. Very, very spicy, woodsy, and vanillic. Ah, so good. So good. Might be my favorite of the line. And 3 of the 4 I really, really like. The Imagination clone, I need to spend more time with. It smells nice, but it wasn't as impressive to me as the Afternoon Swim clone, the Layton clone, and the Tigar clone, in which I wore the Tigar clone twice this week. I've worn this once so far this week, and I did a few test sprays because this is magnificent. If you're looking for a phenomenal Layton clone, I would encourage you to check out Paris Corner's their newest Layton clone. This is North Stag Expressions Deux. And then when I get out the shower in a little bit, like I said, I haven't shaved yet, as you can see, nice and scruffy. I haven't shaved yet. So I'm not sure what aftershave I'm going to go with, but I want to rock with Only Brave Street. I really like this one. I featured it in this morning's video at the recording of this as one that needs more love. I paid $16 for this 75 ml. Came in a white tester box. It's green spicy Versace Eros. I like it a lot. I really do. It's growing on me more and more every time I spray it. I'm wearing it again tonight. I really like this one. Look, it's nothing special. If you have Eros, super, super redundant, and you don't need it. If you have Guess 1981 Los Angeles, still pretty super redundant to that, because that smells like Eros. A little bit of a dry black pepper. Not the same kind of spice. This is a green basil type of spice. But man, I really like it. It's creeping up as like my favorite version of Only the Brave. I have 4 or 5. I have Spirit of the Brave, Only the Brave High, Only the Brave Tattoo, and this one. So I have 5. And I kind of think this is my favorite one. At first I was like, I still like the original more, but I think I like this one more. And it gets mediocre ratings on the internet, but teach their own. I quite like it. So out the shower here tonight on Saturday is going to be Diesel, Only the Brave Street. Well, that was this week's rotation. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. What you guys wear this week? You know the drill if you're regular here. Go ahead and comment down below. I want to see what you guys have been wearing. I'm very, very curious. Bunch of new stuff to the collection. Literally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 out of 12. The 12th that wasn't new is my Dior Sauvage Aftershave. Everything else was new to the collection. Probably going to incorporate that into the title and the thumbnail. I don't know. I haven't done either yet. But smelled great all week. That was undeniable. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these new fragrances to my collection and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.